Juicy, bro, it's the dawn. I'm back, and I apologize because I ain't uploading in like 3 weeks. But that's because school been making me busy. But that's not the point of today's video. We talking about the off season and the moves that must happen and the teams to watch. You feel me? Let's get into it. Let's start with the off season must happens. You feel me? I'm starting off with who I firmly believe is still a top 5 point guard in today's NBA, Chris Paul. Chris Paul averaged 17.6 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 6.7 assists per game, shooting 48.9% from field goal, 36.5% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line. Chris Paul is 35 years old, but that does not stop him from competing with the best of them and carrying his team to the playoffs almost every year. Chris Paul can play both sides of the field excellently. Not many people can do what he does, especially at his age, and I feel like the best fit for him would be the Los Angeles Lakers. I know that no matter who gets traded, it would have to include Kyle Kuzma and Danny Green, and I don't think anyone has a problem with that, considering how poorly they played in the postseason. I think Chris Paul would be a perfect fit, and it'd be the first time we'd see LeBron not being the primary playmaker on his team. On to Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson is an NBA center that averaged 9.7 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, and 2 blocks per game, shooting 74% from the field in only 23 minutes. That screams efficiency. I believe that the best fit for Mitchell Robinson would definitely be the Boston Celtics, if not the Golden State Warriors. And I believe that the Celtics are most likely to get him if he were to be moved due to the depth that they have. They could literally trade anyone and land him. I believe that Gordon Hayward is the most reasonable option considering he does the least for the team, but to be fair, Gordon Hayward has such a big contract that I don't think the Knicks are willing to take on, and I feel like the Warriors could definitely move like Andrew Wiggins for him if they really want to. Andrew Wiggins in like a pick. Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert averaged 15 points per game, 13 rebounds per game, and 2 blocks per game, shooting 69% from the field. I believe that the Boston Celtics could use him the most, and they'd probably have the most realistic trade package for him rather than Mitchell Robinson. Rudy Gobert gives Boston everything they need in a big man that could score and rebound. The defense is just a significant bonus onto the team, and I believe that if the Celtics were to get Rudy Gobert, they'd easily be contenders, probably the favorites to win actually. And due to that, I believe that Gordon Hayward and Grant Williams, or Gordon Hayward and Romeo Langford, should be traded. And if not, I believe that Rudy Gobert should stay with the Jazz. On to Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond averaged 17 points per game, 15 rebounds per game, 2 steals, and 1.5 blocks. I think that Andre Drummond is the best rebounder in the NBA easily, and arguably top 10 all time. I believe that any team could really use someone like him, but I think that he should re-sign with the Cavs and force them to build around him with many shooters and playmakers. Now, obviously it won't be that easy because the Cavs don't have such a big market, but I feel like if they could land one star, many more will start to come. On to Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid averaged 23 points and 11 rebounds, and I believe that the Houston Rockets would be the best fit for him. I think that Westbrook would definitely have to be involved in this trade. And a lot of people might be confused that I say Westbrook because the Sixers already have Ben Simmons. But I think the Sixers just need to blow their team up. They spent too much money to not do anything in the postseason. I just think that the process is over in Philly. I think that Westbrook, along with a Covington or PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon, should be able to get Joel Embiid. And I believe that on the Rockets, Joel Embiid and James Harden would easily go to the conference finals. They'd be better than the Clippers, better than the Warriors. The only team I doubt they'd be better than is the Lakers. And I think that it would give James Harden finally a good teammate that can complement his game, and we'd finally be able to see the best out of James Harden, especially the best out of Joel Embiid. On to Giannis. Giannis averaged 29.5 points per game, 13 rebounds per game, and 5.6 assists per game, along with 1 steal and 1 block to match. This gave him MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season, which not many people could say. And even though they faced an untimely exit in the second round to the Heat, I think that Giannis should re-sign with the Bucks. They were the highest scoring team in the NBA, highest rebounding team in the NBA, and had the best record. I think that the main problem with the Bucks is the coach. Mike Budenholzer always gets out coached in the playoffs, The front office is also a really big problem. Like, they let Malcolm Brogdon leave, but now they're willing to go into the luxury tax to get Giannis better players when they could have easily just done that to keep him. I think that Giannis is not the problem at all, and neither are his teammates. They all play very well together and have at least 4 players that can give you double digits on any given night. So I don't believe that it's the Bucks that's the problem. I think that Giannis should re-sign. And now that they are willing to go into the luxury tax, I think that he should just wait a year or two before the free agents are really good again, before he appeals to sign someone crazy. But I don't think leaving is the solution. He's still young. He still has time to win a championship. Alright, now it's time for the teams to watch next season. The Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns led the league in assists as a team, and they were the only team to go undefeated in the bubble, going 8-0 and somehow still not making the playoffs. I don't know how. But the Phoenix Suns constantly get better every single year, and I feel like this upcoming season is definitely going to be their year to make the playoffs. I think that they're just that much hungrier than almost any other team in the NBA. Devin Booker is tired of losing. He's made unbelievable shots, scored unbelievable amounts, and he has a team that could back him up now. I don't think they're ready to make a championship run at all in the next 3-4 years, but they definitely will be soon enough as long as Devin Booker stays healthy. So I believe that this is going to be a team to watch. I think they're going to be battling for 7th or 8th seed this year. The Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are easily one of the best teams in the NBA, and the only thing that can really stop them is injury. The Brooklyn Nets are the only team that can really make the playoffs without their 2 best players, as KD and Kyrie weren't here this season, and they still made the 7th seed. I think that they have a lot to prove. Kyrie proving that he's not a team destroyer, and KD proving that he could win without a super team. I think that they have a very good supporting cast in Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jarrett Allen, DeAndre Jordan. We've seen Dinwiddie step up when the team needed him as Kyrie was injured. We've seen LeVert step up in the playoffs and in the bubble, dropping like 30, 35 a game. He just was going crazy. Jarrett Allen and DeAndre Jordan are 2 of the most athletic and defensive-minded big men in our NBA. And I think that the combination of all of them are really going to push the East. And as long as Kyrie and KD are healthy, it might be a cakewalk to the finals. Even though I want my Celtics to make it, I know that the Nets are just that good. The Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets have one of the best coaches in Mike Malone. They always finish top 5 in the West. This year they finished 3rd, and they went 46-27 in a shortened season. This leads me to think that they're going to be one of the best teams to watch this upcoming season, because they just have 3 7-footers in Nikola Jokic, Mason Plumlee, and Bol Bol, all 3 of which can shoot. They have Jamal Murray, who went crazy this postseason, has a lot to prove again, to prove that it wasn't a fluke. And they got Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. This is a great young team with a lot of athletic players, as you can see, and they're willing to do anything to win. These guys are dogs. I think that they're going to prove that they can make it to the conference finals consistently, and eventually they're going to make a push for the NBA finals. But all in all, I think that these are the teams that are going to be the most impressive next year, and I think that these are the moves that need to be made in the postseason if we're going to have a very exciting NBA season next year. And yeah, it's the Dawn. I'm up next. Like, comment, subscribe, feel me, and yeah, see you when I see you.